Let me ask you something. Why would someone desire you? Not because you want her to, not because you're trying hard, but because your presence feels different. See, desire is not created through convincing, it's created through value, confidence, and emotional experience. When a woman says she's not interested, most men do one of two things: they chase harder or they shrink. Both are rooted in neediness, and neediness kills attraction faster than rejection ever could. Here's the shift: stop trying to be chosen, start becoming choice worthy. There's a difference. Choice worthy men are not obsessed with one outcome. They are focused on their mission, their growth, their standards. They don't beg for attention. They don't over explain themselves. They don't try to prove their worth. They embody it. Attraction begins with emotional certainty. When you walk into a room, are you comfortable in your own skin? When she tests you, do you remain playful and grounded? When she pulls back, do you respect it without losing your composure? Emotional control is magnetic, not coldness, not arrogance, calm strength. Desire grows in space. If someone isn't interested, pushing closes the door tighter. But when you lean back, focus on your life, improve your body, your finances, your social presence, something changes. You shift from trying to get her to living in a way she might want to join. That energy is different. And here's the deeper truth: sometimes the goal isn't to make her desire you. Sometimes the goal is to become so aligned, so self assured, so purpose driven that if she doesn't choose you, it genuinely doesn't shake you. That is power. Because the most attractive trait in any man is this: he wants her, but he does not need her. Work on your physique not for validation, but for discipline. Build your income not to impress, but to expand options. Strengthen your social skills not to perform, but to connect. Develop your mindset not to dominate, but to stay centered. Women don't fall for effort, they respond to energy. And energy comes from a man who is moving somewhere in life. If she's not interested, smile, respect it, keep improving. Because when you truly level up, two things happen. Either she begins to see you differently, or you meet someone who already does. And the second outcome is always the better one. Become the man who attracts, not the man who chases. That's how desire happens naturally. Attraction is not a switch you flip in someone else's mind. It is a response that arises from freedom, curiosity, and emotional experience. The moment you try to force it, persuade it, or pressure it into existence, it begins to lose authenticity. People naturally resist what feels imposed on them, especially when it comes to emotions. From a psychological perspective, desire strengthens when it feels voluntary. When someone feels they are choosing you, not being convinced or chased, the connection carries more meaning. Pressure creates tension. Space creates intrigue. Control creates resistance. Confidence creates comfort. Many make the mistake of thinking more effort equals more attraction. They over-message, over-explain, over-prove, but attraction does not grow through convincing arguments or constant availability. It grows through emotional impact, mystery, and self-assured presence. When you accept that you cannot force someone to like you, something powerful happens. You shift your focus inward. Instead of strategizing how to change her mind, you begin refining your own mindset, lifestyle, and standards. That internal shift changes your energy. True magnetism comes from alignment, when your actions, values, and self image are strong and consistent. If someone senses that you are comfortable whether they choose you or not, it creates emotional space. And in that space, curiosity has room to breathe. You cannot command desire, but you can embody qualities that invite it naturally. Self worth is not something you declare, it is something you demonstrate through your standards, your boundaries, and the way you carry yourself. When you genuinely value yourself, your behavior changes. You stop overextending for approval. You stop tolerating disrespect. You stop trying to earn attention at the cost of your dignity. Psychologically, people are drawn to those who appear secure within themselves. Confidence signals stability. Stability signals safety. And safety creates attraction. On the other hand, when someone constantly seeks reassurance, validation, or constant contact, it communicates uncertainty. Even if the words sound confident, the energy feels dependent. Self worth shapes subtle behaviors. It influences your posture, your tone, your pace of speech, and your reactions. A man who values himself does not rush to impress. He listens. He speaks with intention. He is comfortable with silence. He does not fear losing someone because he trusts his own value. Importantly, self-worth is built internally, not through external success alone. Money, status, or appearance can enhance attraction, but without inner confidence, they feel hollow. True self-worth comes from keeping promises to yourself, pursuing meaningful goals, and living according to personal principles. When you believe you are a valuable option, it's not the only option, not the desperate option, your interactions shift. You approach connection as a mutual exchange, not a test you must pass. And that mindset is powerful. Because the moment you stop chasing validation, you begin radiating quiet confidence. And quiet confidence is deeply attractive. Emotional control is one of the most underrated traits in modern relationships. It is not about suppressing feelings or pretending not to care. It is about managing your reactions so that your emotions do not control your behavior. When you remain grounded under pressure, you project strength without saying a word. Psychologically, people are drawn to emotional stability. Unpredictable reactions create tension and uncertainty, but calm, measured responses create a sense of safety. When someone tests you, disagrees with you, or pulls away slightly, your response matters more than the situation itself. If you become defensive, anxious, or overly reactive, it signals insecurity. If you stay relaxed and composed, it signals confidence. Emotional regulation also demonstrates maturity. It shows that you are not ruled by impulse. You can handle disagreement without escalation. You can handle uncertainty without panic. You can handle space without desperation. That steadiness is magnetic because it communicates reliability. There is also power in restraint. Not every message needs an immediate reply. Not every comment needs a reaction. Sometimes strength is shown through patience. When you pause before responding, you act with intention rather than emotion. Emotional control does not mean being cold or distant. It means being centered. You can express interest without losing balance. You can show care without surrendering your self-respect. When you master your emotions, you master your presence. And a controlled presence naturally commands attention. Personal growth changes more than your results. It changes your perspective. When you actively work on your health, your skills, your purpose, and your mindset, you begin to operate from abundance rather than scarcity. Scarcity says, I can't lose this one opportunity. Abundance says, I create opportunities wherever I go. Growth builds options. When you improve your physical health, you gain energy and presence. When you strengthen your communication skills, you connect more naturally. When you pursue meaningful goals, you develop direction. Direction is attractive because it signals leadership, not control over others, but control over your own life. From a psychological standpoint, people are drawn to individuals who are progressing. Momentum is powerful. When someone senses that you are evolving, learning, and striving, it creates excitement. Stagnation repels. Progress attracts. Personal development also reduces emotional dependency. When your life is full, friends, ambitions, routines, challenges, you no longer rely on one person to fulfill every emotional need. That independence creates balance. You engage because you want to, not because you need to. Most importantly, growth strengthens your identity. You begin to see yourself as capable and valuable. That internal shift changes how you walk into a room, how you speak, and what you tolerate. When you elevate your life, attraction becomes a byproduct, not the goal. And when attraction becomes a byproduct, it feels natural, effortless, and sustainable. At the core of everything is this simple truth. You cannot control someone else's feelings, but you can completely control the man you choose to become. When you stop trying to force attraction and start building genuine value within yourself, everything shifts. You move differently, you speak differently, you react differently. Your energy becomes grounded instead of anxious, intentional instead of desperate. Attraction thrives in freedom, not pressure. It grows in the presence of confidence, not neediness. It deepens around emotional stability, not unpredictability. And it multiplies when a man is actively progressing in his own life. The real transformation happens when your focus moves from how do I make her want me? How do I become a high value, self assured, purpose driven man? Because when your life is strong, full, and aligned, you no longer chase validation. You offer an experience, you offer stability, you offer direction. And those qualities naturally draw the right people toward you. And if someone still isn't interested, you remain composed, you continue growing, you keep elevating. Because the ultimate power is not in making someone desire you, it is in becoming someone who knows his worth, with or without their approval.